So let's go ahead and get started with our one presentation. First things first, my name is Alex Valandia. I'm the Senior Design and Marketing Manager for Trade Pending. And Jeremy, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Jeremy. I'm the Senior Director of Product Operations here at Trade Pending. And I'd like to also brag that I was Trade Pending's first customer before I came to the Trade Pending team.
Well, you saw something you liked, obviously.
Obviously.
So this is just for everybody. We are recording this. We're going to be sharing it out via email tomorrow. If you guys have questions, use the Q&A button. We'll answer as many of those questions as possible. Even if we don't get to them in time, go ahead and write them down. We'll go ahead and answer them in the email moving forward. But that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Jeremy, why don't you go ahead and share your screen?
Sure. Uh, Let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see it. I think
We're
we're good.
looking all right.
We're looking all right. What are we
All
looking at
right.
here?
Fantastic. Let me just move some things around. Okay, so we're talking about a couple of really important things today. So, uh, first is our customer engagement platform, or as you'll hear me call it multiple times today, the CEP, just because saying customer engagement platform is really long. And then we're also going to talk about our new conversion analytics, and we'll also touch a little bit about some of our measurement for Value Watch, which is expanded from things you might have seen before.
Just real quick,
So
Jeremy, real quick. What is this platform that we're looking at here? Is this our Trade Pending's dealer console?
yeah, it is, and we're gonna do a little overview of where all this stuff lives to kick off, and well, probably a perfect segue into kind of talking about who should really be kind of paying attention right now instead of playing Candy Crush on your phone and just saying that you're attending the webinar. So we'll talk about both CDP and analytics, and both of those will be a part of our overall dealer console here. And I'll do a quick little refresher there. But what we'll be talking about today, will really be kind of a high level overview, understanding how to keep a pulse on your products, your teams, and how those things are performing. And so we're talking to you, GMs, sales managers, marketing folks, BDC, internet teams, all of the above, right? Um, so as I kind of do a little demo of our dealer console here, this will make sense. But our goal as trade pending is to help you make the most of your website opportunities, right? Something that used dealers invest a lot of time, money, and energy in, right? So we will focus our conversation today on those three main areas, right? So uh, the first being conversion, right? You have a lot of traffic coming to your website that you've worked very hard to get. So we want to talk about how we are emphasizing or helping you understand our emphasis on converting those leads into opportunity. Second, the other part of that is engagement with those leads, right? We've got tools to help you provide quick and valuable responses to those consumers when you're going back and forth and providing really important information that helps you stand out from your competition. So we'll talk about how you can keep an eye on that. And then retention, right? Well, after you've sold somebody, you want those customers that you worked really hard to get to remain your customers. And that comes through multiple forms, right? That comes typically through service retention, as well as future trade-ins and future sales. So we'll talk about how you can kind of keep your pulse or finger on the pulse of all that stuff with what we've got.
So
And
this is
then
like a good 30,000 foot view of like the daily entirety of your website and actually your dealership too, kind of making sure you're touching all the places and everything's working as appropriate. And it's honestly it's just a good quick hit every day, it looks like.
100%. Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it, right? Because typically, to where we were going before, right? Typically, when we would come into our uh, dealer console, so probably a good time. Let me do a quick little just pull up my product site here. When I refresh my screen, I went to my other dealership. I apologize. So when you pop in to your site here, right, you'll see a lot of your important things that you would want to be focused on as somebody who is handling a lead, right? You'll see all of your customers. You'll be able to manage your conversations with those customers here, right? And you'll even be able to click into a customer. and see all of the really important things that they've done, right? Like what kind of trade vehicles they've got, what vehicles they've been interested in, even customer insights, right? Like how many times that customer's been to your site, some information about the vehicles they're looking for, and a history of that. So it gives you a lot of intelligence in how you would attack a consumer. That actually sounded a little aggressive, but how you would approach a consumer. That sounds a little bit better, right?
Help them out
How
more
you
efficiently.
execute
Yeah.
your strategy in getting this customer in, right? Like that's a main use case for our dealer console. And then additionally, you've got access into a lot of your quick workflows if you wanted to share video or auto bio information. That stuff's there. And then I think a lot of us are probably used to looking at our analytics in here, right? So it's kind of the perfect segue into what we'll be talking about today, right? So we've got our old sort of tried and true analytics. Then you'll notice that you'll have access to this analytics beta tab. So this is where our new analytics are going to live and what we'll be talking about today. But taking a step back, first thing we're going to do is that 30,000 foot view that Alex had mentioned, right? Specifically kicking off with our customer engagement platform. So customer engagement platform is the way to understand how your conversion, sales engagement, and your owner retention tools that you are paying for and using are performing in your store without having to. I love the term we coined. It's one of the best things I think that marketing's come up with. I love the filter gymnastics, right? You don't have to go through and build all these crazy custom reports. All this stuff's going to be here right in front of you. Now, Alex and I had discussed this, but one thing we'd love to point out is there is a caveat here. We are all about protecting everybody's PII. We don't want to go and show any real dealership's actual numbers. This is a internal environment that we have. So, a couple of things. You will definitely see some numbers here that are not in line with what you would probably expect as a dealership, only because some of this is test data. For example, I would really hope that if we generated 406 leads, we didn't sell zero of them, right? We just are not we're not, this is not plugged into a DMS. So remember, this is all for illustrative purposes anyway. But your CS teams, your sales folks, they can help you really understand your benchmarks and what you should be, expecting as you're going in here and playing around with the stuff that you've got access to. So, without further ado, let's talk about what our three buckets are here that live on our customer engagement platform. So, when you land in the dealer console as a manager or somebody who is managing the tools, you're going to see everything broken up into website conversion, sales engagement, and owner retention, right? So, you're going to see at a glance what those most important key metrics are to help you understand the health of your performance of your tools and your teams. So let's start with conversion, right? So with conversion, we'll give you a really simple breakdown of probably the thing that you're going to care about the most because you want to know if your tools are actually converting. And when you're in those really exciting stakeholder meetings on Mondays or Saturdays, whenever your team has them, and someone from a very high seat is saying, "Hey, how many leads did we get?" We want to be able to give you that answer very quickly. But essentially, what we'll do here is we'll roll up at a glance what all of your leads are looking like from our conversion products, right? So our trade offer, trade plus payments solutions, those will live there. We'll also put those in sort of our tried and true conversion funnel that everybody's sort of used to looking at, right? But that'll break down, how that traffic kind of goes from a session or a user level down into like a form view actually converting into a lead. And you'll notice now there are two things if you are familiar, or there are two things that if you're familiar with our conversion funnel hadn't previously been there, but that's sold and total revenue. And you'll also notice that that's summarized down here. So the idea there is we can pull DMS feed and tie customers that have converted through those products into actual sold deals, right? So we can help provide you some insight, not only into how we're converting, but how those conversions are turning into real dollars for your store and vehicles acquired, right? So it's a really, really easy connection to make there, right? So it
Really
gives
easy
you,
ROI discussion at that point.
yeah, it becomes really helpful for a tool for you, as you're evaluating your vendors and how they're performing in your business. Really surfaces, hey, this is a no-brainer for us to want to keep trade pending as a part of our strategy because they're performing so well for us. Same thing with sales engagement, right? So sales engagement, to us is defined as video for sales, right? Or auto bio. So those are our tools that we're using to help you follow up with your well-earned leads on your website, right?
Jeremy,
So
for
we
those
want
that might
to,
not know, can you give us just a quick, like, what is auto bio?
yeah, sure. Auto bio is essentially providing information about a vehicle that builds urgency and creates value. So we can actually show one here quickly if we would like to.
Yeah, why not?
Let's pick a car.
That's what we're here
Let's
for.
let's pick this one. So this is something that can live on your SRP, VDP pages. These can be sent to consumers. Um, there's a number of ways that customers can interact with this, but
Your
essentially what we're
digital
doing
brochure, yeah.
is the perfect way of describing it, right? It'll include pictures of the vehicle, and it'll summarize a lot of really important things about that vehicle, right? Hey, look, this particular car, for example, is a rare trim. There's only a few of them in the market, right? The things you can use to build urgency, create value in your sales conversations. That'll answer some really key questions for a consumer as well, right? Like what kind of awards that car's won, Carfax history on that particular vehicle. We can actually show a quick video of the key details of that year, make, model, and trim, as well as fuel and safety ratings. We could populate window sticker information, warranties, and then you can have a little digital business card down here as well. And we can also even add reconditioning information in here too, if we're getting that through your DMS. So there's a whole bunch of really powerful data here that we can get in front of the customer to get them excited and understand the value proposition of your vehicle, but also to kind of make your sales team an instant product expert.
All right. And I'm especially liking that the next steps are there, keeping somebody moving down that funnel. But talk to me about how AutoBio and videos are in the CEP, the consumer engagement platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we'll really be focusing on here is that sort of two-way interaction with the consumer, right? These tools are really meant to provide really valuable conversations. So as we send that information out to customers, right, we want to look at how we're actually doing and who's engaging, right? So we'll look at some really key metrics, like how many new customers did we get in whatever time frame you'd like, right? So the CEP does have adjustable dates where you can look at different date ranges. Maybe you want to look at this month, previous months, year over year, whatever you'd like. But the percentage of new customers that we've actually sent this valuable content to, and then also how that information was engaged with, right? Like how many videos did we send? How many auto bios or SMS messages did we send? And how many of those were actually open and engaged with by consumers? And then we can look at a high level of our active customers, right? How many people do we have that are actually responding to this content? And then, the people who are managing that activity, right? Our managers, our BDC folks, we can really look at our sort of sales funnel as a whole and see like, who needs attention, meaning we haven't paid attention to them and done much with them, who's sent content and who's viewed content, right? So it really gives us, a very high level health report of how our team is using our tools that we're paying a lot of money for,
Yeah.
and how our customers are actually interacting with that content. And then, of course, that will also be able to tie into influenced sales, right? We can match these customers to sold data in your DMS and be able to tell you, hey, we've through these conversations and through this, really valuable data, we've helped you acquire vehicles, we've helped gross, we've helped encourage sales.
Right on.
So,
Owner retention.
should we talk about what we've done after you sold somebody? I think that's probably pretty
I
important,
mean,
right?
to me, it looks like you're kind of stepping down the funnel. You got the website conversion, and you're talking them through the sale, and now you're talking about maybe after the sale. So,
Exactly,
okay.
right? That's really the time to get to work, right? It's not a time to rest and pat ourselves in the back for selling them, right? Because what do customers need to do after we've sold them, right? They need to service, and eventually they're going to get another car. So we want to be able to measure how our service offers product and how our Value Watch reports that we're sending out are actually impacting your business and what that performance looks like, right? So we'll have some information here about recent owner activity. So what that really means is pretty simple, right? Look at these two numbers. Service offers leads. How many people interacted with your service offers page on your site and actually saved an offer, right? Or submitted a recall lead, that sort of thing. And then how many new Value Watch subscribers did we have? And what's really exciting, I think, about Value Watch subscribers is there's so many ways to dump people into your Value Watch subscription base, right? If you are a Trader Payments customer, we're automatically enrolling those customers. We can even automatically enroll your previous sold sales customers and your service customers that didn't even come through trade pending initially, right? So
For those
you
of
think
us
about that. That grows exponentially over time.
for those of us that might not know what Value Watch is, just 30,000 foot, just like quick, what is it and how would my dealership use it?
Yeah, perfect example. So Value Watch is a monthly report that's going to go out to your users, and it's going to do two things, um, or to your customers, I should say, and it's going to do two things. It's going to provide them with a monthly valuation of their vehicle. Now, there's a bunch of logic in there to where if somebody bought a vehicle last month, we're not going to start telling them their vehicle's depreciated quite a bit.
Right.
Uh, we could go down the rabbit hole with all that fun stuff, but the idea is we'll send a monthly valuation update to hopefully get a customer excited about potentially trading in with us and give them a bunch of next steps of like, hey, would you like to schedule an appointment for an appraisal, that sort of a thing. And if none of the sales messaging resonates with them, right, we will definitely drop them into your service offers page. So the idea is we have a kind of a tailored message that comes out every month to regardless if a consumer is trending more towards keeping their vehicle and servicing it or eventually parting with that vehicle, kind of got some tailored personalized off ramps for them to keep them engaged with your dealership, your brand, whatever you would like to call it, and keep you top of mind as those independent repair shops and those other dealers come a knocking as the ownership cycle goes along. So obviously we really want to keep an eye on that subscriber base from a high level.
Right on. Well said.
So additionally, as we go down that owner retention funnel, right, we'll be able to look at repair orders, right? If we can match those consumers to ROs from our DMS, so we can look at how much service revenue or how many actual repair orders have been generated from those customer bases, as well as how many active subscribers we had and kind of get an idea of how those value watch reports that are going out, how those are being interacted with, right? Are people clicking into them? Are the emails being viewed? That sort of a thing, right? So it's the idea. The idea here is, I think Alex said it best, 30,000 foot view of the key metrics that matter most.
Okay. Well,
Should
I
we?
personally think this, I mean, just because, design and marketing manager here, this is just like a delight to look at because I love graphs. Who doesn't? But this is just a really super easy way for anybody to kind of just do a quick temp check. Like, all right, how are we doing today, this week, last 90 days? And for us to just kind of keep a metric, it'd be like month over month, really easy way of making sure that the tools that we're paying for and our team is using are actually being efficient. So
Absolutely. So I guess the next question is, Alex, what if you really want to learn more and you really want to look at some things at maybe a more granular level?
man, let's get into it.
Sounds good. So our analytics beta tab here, we're calling this our new analytics. That was a amazingly well crafted term, but it describes everything perfectly, right? They are our new analytics. So for all of you playing along at home, right, you will still see your tried and true legacy analytics tab. But if you're clicking this analytics beta tab, you will be able to come in here and see your new, as we're calling them, analytics. Now, right now, this is our first release of many to bring all of our reporting into our dealer console and expand it and give you more control and more insights through being able to manipulate the data in ways that make sense for you. So right now, we've brought over our conversion products and Value Watch. So that's going to be trade and offer payments, and like I said, Value Watch. So let's talk about sort of what's the same and what's different with the stuff that's the same. I know that sounds a little crazy, but it'll make sense here in a second. And then what's completely new. So it kind of makes sense to just go through all of this from top to bottom. So the first thing that you'll notice with all of our analytics here, right, is that you'll have some controls here, right? So you'll actually be able to pick some things that are important to you. for example, what dealership in your group or dealerships in your group you're looking at. So that's a little bit of a spoiler because we are able to roll all of this up to a group view. And I will show you that in just a second here, as well as a date picker, right? We can really get in here and manipulate this data into a time frame that makes sense for whatever analysis we're trying to do of our performance. So in this case, we'll just look at let's say 90 days, right? So in this on this test site here, uh, here's how our conversion products have performed, right? So we have things that we're used to looking at here, kind of like our main three trade pending metrics, right? Our leads by device type, meaning did they come from desktop or mobile? This is how you know this is a test site because typically these percentages are completely flipped around and mobile leads the way. But we'll also break that down into website conversion and form conversion, right? Those are um, really common metrics that we've always shared with dealers forever and ever. We'll have a store leaderboard here. Right now, I've just got this filtered out to be this one store, but you can expand this into your group. So this is a lot of fun. So if we select our group level here,
Oh, cool.
ta-da, you've now got a nice store leaderboard that you can expand out. And you can compare your different stores' performance
Wow, that's simple.
store over store. Uh, Additionally, we've kind of reimagined the way that we present our funnel and our leads by page because
Well,
there's some
hold on, just
additional.
real quick. I don't want you to bury the lead because like having multiple stores there on a leaderboard, that does something amazing. Like that'll help you see who's really killing it with the products and those who might not be. So like you can actively look week by week. It's like, hey, why is it that this guy is doing better than this other group or this other dealership over here? And then actively work to train those lower performing dealerships just to raise the bar for everybody. Like don't bury that lead. That's super important.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? And you know, it kind of it's great for like accountability across the group, right? Right. Somebody who's probably managing, multiple stores is probably looking at this a lot. Even if I'm looking at just, my own store, I want to see how I'm stacking up, against other stores in my group. I might think I'm doing a great job, but if I see somebody, one of our sister stores that's crushing it, I want to pick up the phone and be able to call them and know what they're doing that I'm not, right? So it becomes a great tool to kind of hold yourself accountable too, right? As somebody who's a leader in a store.
Right on.
So additionally, we'll break that down into a couple of really important sections that might look a little bit familiar, but there are some differences and nuances here, right? So our conversion funnel, you've seen this before. We've talked about this with our customer engagement platform, but again, this is sort of our breakdown of what our traffic looks like from the session and unique user level all the way down to a lead level. But we've started to provide some more granularity there, right? Where we can actually talk to you about what leads or which products created leads, and more specifically, which workflow, right? Because something like payments is a perfect example, where maybe somebody just calculated a payment, or they did our Payment Explorer tool where they're shopping by payment and backing into some inventory, right? You probably would love to have that level of insight instead of just saying, hey, my payments tool is working great, but I want to know what specifically about my payments tool is working. Um, and that being said, right, you're actually able to further go down and filter the whole report into individual products or even workflows within the product. So if you really just want to know, hey, how is this part of trade payments performing, or how is this trade performing? How is this payments performing? You can do that, right? Of course, most of us just want to know, hey, we're paying trade pending every month. We want to know how all of those tools are performing. So we want that data all rolled up into one. But if we, do feel like getting in there and slicing and dicing, we absolutely can. Then we kind of get into this other challenge that, a lot of folks, especially those people who are working with our website vendors, are tasked with, right? And it's that decision around real estate, right? Websites don't have an endless amount of real estate, and the tools that you put on those in that limited amount of real estate is a very important decision, right? So we want to help provide some data to help you back up those decisions, right? So, for example, we want to be able to tell you what pages your leads are coming from, so you really know where to be able to optimize, and then specifically which CTAs and on which page for which product. I know that sounds a lot, so we'll go through that again. Which CTAs on which page for which product are generating the most opportunity for you, right? So it becomes a very simple decision when you're saying, "Hey, I can only have room for a few things on this page. Let's see how this button or CTA is actually performing for me." Oh man, that's one of my better ones. I bet I got to keep that there, right? Helps you, validate and verify which types of CTAs in your site should
Also,
be getting that
gives you
that.
almost like a little bit of a predictive model. Be like, all right, well, if I know I'm getting rid of this product on this page, then I can expect to drop X amount of leads just from the history that you've already built.
A
So,
hundred percent, a
okay,
hundred
no,
percent.
that's
Yeah.
useful.
And then, of course, we'll continue to have some really important things that we've always had, right? Talking about our daily impressions by page and our submissions by page. So, if you're a real, I hate to say the word, but if you're a big data nerd and you really want to get in there and know exactly what individual pages are doing, you can definitely look at the impressions and submissions by page. And then, of course, even things that are important to us, like leads by credit, right? Just getting an idea of like the overall demographics of who is coming to our website.
Those submissions by page, that'll actually help out a lot if you have like a particular marketing campaign going to a landing page with like the trade tool or something like that in there. You'd be able to kind of spot like, okay, well, this is when we started the marketing campaign, that going straight a hockey stick in and then leveling off. And yeah, that's super useful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And last but certainly not least, you'll notice there's a second tab over here next to conversion called Value Watch, right? So we will be able to now provide so much more insight into your Value Watch tool. If you are a current Value Watch customer and you're used to looking at this reporting, you are used to seeing these three boxes right here, right? How many new Value Watch subscriptions did we get? How many became inactive? And how many reports did we send out? And in whatever time period we're looking at, how many of them are new? How many people unsubscribed? That's kind of where it ended.
Hey,
But there's
quick
so much
question
more to
we
the story.
had from the chat here. This is from Yasmin, how do I get access to the CEP for our group?
That's a great question. So the CEP, if it's a user-based permission on our site. So if you don't currently have access to it, so if you go to your dealer.tradepending.com site and log in, if that's not the first thing you're seeing when you log in, and I would say as a blanket statement for anyone who's watching this recording, just reach out to our CS team, support team. They can go ahead and make sure your user has access. But Yasmin, I can help you specifically as soon as
All
we
right.
end up here because we've got.
White glove
I'll make
service.
sure your user is good to go. You get the extra attention for attending. So we'll make sure that you're good to go.
Very cool.
But I know we're a little tight on time, but the good news is I think this will make a whole heck of a lot of sense to us. So I'm going to narrow this data down a little bit so we're not looking at so much stuff. I'm actually just going to go right back here to our Value Watch conversation after our unfortunate outing there. Right, let's take a look at a snapshot of our last 6 months of data here for our test website, right? So we'll be able to look at the same three data points that are really important that we've always had, right? How many total subscriptions we have and what status are those in? Are they active or inactive? How many actual Value Watch reports have we sent out? And our new subscriptions, right? In that time period, how many new people did we get and how many people unsubscribed? Additionally, right, we've expanded our ability to show you where those signups come from because there are so many new ways that you can become a Value Watch subscriber, right? So we've got our trade and payments leads that automatically get subscribed. We got those, we've got the ability, excuse me, to take your customers from your DMS feeds, from both your sales and service feeds, and automatically enroll them. And then the ability, of course, to manually sign up from a CTA on the site, right? So we want to really understand and be able to articulate to you, the dealer, where those signups are coming from.
That's
Then we can get really granular as to what is happening on our reports. So if I'm a consumer that has a Value Watch report in front of me, what did I do, right? So in all those reports that we get, they've got all those handy dandy CTAs. Well, on this test site here, right, we can see the number of clicks onto those individual CTAs, right? And if those clicks came from an SMS report or an email report. And then very similar to our other analytics, right? We can look at our hot CTAs, right? Which of those links in that Value Watch report into one of our workflows performed the best, right? So we'll be able to break those down so you can really understand what consumers on your Value Watch reports are doing.
And honestly, what the market is asking for as a whole. So it'll give you a good snapshot of that.
100%. Yeah, it's a really important insight, right? And then, one of those additional items that ties into that is your appointment completion rate, right? Because on that Value Watch report, if somebody is ready to transact with your dealership, right, we want to have that appointment CTA in there, right? So how many folks are engaging with that workflow and actually completing it? And then additionally, we've got some metrics down here to tied to the actual send of the report, right? So how many emails were sent, for example? How many of those sent emails were viewed? And then how many of those viewed emails actually had somebody click the link to access the Value Watch report? And then similar metrics for SMS, right? How many texts were sent and how many links in that text were clicked through to actually engage with the Value Watch report, right? So both ends of the spectrum here, right? How many people are we bringing into that Value Watch funnel? And then once they're in that, Value Watch ecosystem, how many people are actually engaging and opening up the Value Watch report, and what are they doing once they open it up?
It's pretty useful metrics.
Agreed.
All right. So that is the new analytics. Am I missing something here? We had the conversion, and then Value Watch, like I said, beginning of the funnel, middle of the funnel, end of the funnel, and trying to keep people in the system, coming back to schedule their service. And then if once as soon as they're ready to start the car buying process, Value Watch has one of those CTAs in there to kind of help them get started on that journey. So,
100%. Yeah.
Jeremy, is there anything else that you think our viewers like to see concerning the CEP and new analytics?
I think we've covered it, but if they want to learn more, you're going to NADA, Alex. Should we talk
Oh,
about NADA?
that little thing that's coming down the road? Yeah, yeah, we could absolutely, if you happen to be going to NADA, stop by our booth, 2253 in the West Hall, and Jeremy and I will be there to kind of help walk you guys through. And of course, we have all the swag and deliciousness that the bar that we've got, and then a couple of cool shirts and stuff like that. But before I get into that, just really quickly, you made it this far. Congratulations! If this is your first time in a trade pending webinar, we have these wobbly birds. It's kind of our little mascot. Go ahead and click bit.ly/wobblybird to claim your own totally for free. Why not? But as Jeremy was talking about, we also are going to be at NADA.
And we will sign wobbly birds at NADA for anybody that only if you attended the webinar.
I got my Sharpie ready for them.
Okay, good.
But if you are headed to NADA and you're thinking about, where should you spend your time? Well, here's a little extra added incentive. If you sign up for your NADA trade pending demo right now, after the meeting at NADA, we're going to go ahead and give you these really sweet Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds just for showing up and saying hi. So go ahead, scan the QR code, pick out a time slot that works for you during NADA, and then when you meet us there, you'll go ahead and get your earbuds. But get there fast because we're limiting that to 125. So as long as you're one of our first 125 people to our booth, you're going to be getting one of these. So that being said, thank you so much. My name is Alex Vellandi. I'm the Senior Design and Marketing Manager. Jeremy, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you getting into
Thank you guys
for the consumer engagement, the customer engagement platform and the new analytics. And thanks so much and have a great rest of your day.
Take care, everybody.